Perfect. Back to Zoom, back to record. Awesome. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for waiting. It is so worth the wait. I'm Dr. Jordan Leasure. I'm the owner and physician of North Shore Proactive Health, a state-of-the-art wellness clinic, reporting live because Parker's on a play date and I am a poor planner. My internet was a problem, but like I said before, so worth the wait. I'm here with my fabulous friend, Erin, the traveling yogi, and we are going to talk stress management techniques, implementation. She has a incredible skill set. So Erin, I'll let you lead it off. Tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do, and we'll jump in.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Jordan. I appreciate that lead in. My name is Erin O'Neill, and I have been practicing yoga pretty much my whole life now. I started as an early teenager and saw right away what it could do for me physically. I've been a martial artist most of my life as well. And in my physical body, it was necessary to kind of combat, even back as a teenager, combat some of the weird hip stuff that we were doing. They made us run, so yoga was really great for running. And I knew that it was in my body, felt really, really good. And then, you fast forward, I ended up going to graduate school and getting my PhD in biomedical sciences. And, that in and of itself was incredibly stressful.
You don't say.
Yeah, right? Thank you, Dr. Jordan. Really stressful. And, the hours were odd and different. So sleep was off. And throughout that whole time, I was still practicing yoga, although not as regularly. And I was starting to realize, wow, this can actually calm some of my mental issues that are going on when I was feeling stressed. And then a couple of years after that, my husband and I decided to start a family, and very quickly realized that being a research scientist was not conducive to my vision of my family. So I took a break, and there I was, going from working in a lab 10 hours a day, almost every day of the week, to being a stay-at-home mom with an infant whose husband traveled all the time. And that transition, it wreaked havoc on not only my body, right? I mean,
right.
Women's had kids knows that that's a body-changing event, but mind and even heart. It was very. There were some moments where I felt incredibly alone, and there was yoga. Every time Liam would take a nap and be asleep, I would move through some postures, but then I move into some breath work, and then I move into some meditation, and all of a sudden it clicked. I mean, it took me a while, but it clicked. This isn't just about postures. This isn't just about getting flexible or strong. This is a practice that we can incorporate into our whole life to become whole as a person while managing stress, while managing anxieties. And at that moment, I knew I needed to share it with other people. I knew that I needed to facilitate that type of healing in others using yoga. So at that point, I got my certifications. I have several different certifications. I started teaching now over a decade ago. It's been 11 years, is what I want to say. And I love what I do because I see it. I see it in the people that I work with. And the best part is that it translates off the mat too. You feel really, really good, in your hour and a half while you're practicing on the mat. But then, what I hope to talk about a little bit tonight is how we can translate that into our everyday life. And suddenly, these yoga poses and the yoga practice becomes our life practice. And I think I'm a better person. I'm for sure a better mother, a better partner, a better friend because of yoga and because of some of the things that I've implemented into my daily routine that hopefully we'll go into here in a moment.
Yeah, definitely. I found that, obviously practicing yoga, like you said, the practice of yoga is beneficial. And then for me personally, and I think I've mentioned it, I don't know if I've mentioned it in this group or not, but when I was pregnant with Parker, I was practicing quite regularly. And then during his actual birth, that was what I found very grounding, was I knew how I wanted to have him and what my birth plan looked like. And my mantra was always come back to your mat. So when pain got out of hand and I didn't think I could do it anymore, what centered me was remembering, you know, why I wanted to have the birth I wanted to have. And so for me, visualizing that and saying, you know, like, Jordan, come back to your mat, was what did it for me. So
I hope
that is like literally gave me goosebumps. I hope we can bring some of that focus and some of that, you know, inner peace to people that are, you know, maybe not there right now or haven't had that experience. Are there certain things, and I'm hoping, you know, tonight I thought we would just introduce you to everybody, because I want to have the opportunity, I hope, to have you teach a class for everyone.
Amazing. I would love to.
But I thought, you know, we would just go over a couple things tonight, like, you know, what should they look for? What can they do? Where's an easy place to start if someone is not practicing right now, or maybe they were and their facility shut down, or they haven't, you know, utilized resources available? What's a good thing to do right now under these circumstances?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And kind of before I delve into, you know, some of those things, I just want to reiterate the fact that yoga is so much more than just, you know, the physical postures and the shapes we put our bodies into. Like you were just saying, you know, when you were giving birth, coming back to grounding, centering. So here, even if you have an hour to do a full, you know, physical yoga practice, that's great. But a lot of us don't, or don't even have the energy to do that. So my first kind of tip for everybody is to carve out just few minutes a day to maybe make some of those postures and shapes in your body, but to find that little bit of centering and grounding through the breath. That has been just integral for me during these last couple of months. And really, you know, what I'm gonna kind of talk about, for me, I need it in the morning. I am pretty much a morning person, and it sets my day up to be productive, to be less reactive to the situation. But really, if, you know, mornings don't work for you, if you can find just 10 minutes sometime in the day, the point is making it consistent and doing it every single day, even if it's just a few minutes every single day. So yeah, I wake up, I hydrate, make sure I have a big, huge glass of water, and then a big, huge glass of warm lemon water. Yeah, just gets me going. And then I go to my space. I also have a little dedicated space that is just for me, and that kind of makes it appealing too. You know, you can have things that make you want to be there. Right. And really, all I need is 1 minute to just sit, focus on my breath. And at that point, it really is, all right, let's check in with the rhythm of my breathing, the pattern of my breathing, and then try to smoothen it, try to lengthen it, try to deepen it, and then really have that connection of, you know, my mind with my breath, with my body. And once I do that, I'm in this perfect spot to meditate. And I can't talk about meditation enough. This, I think, is where the real magic happens as far as, you know, stress reduction and working with anxiety. Even just, again, a minute or two a day, but every single day, you are going to witness in yourself some benefits, and some benefits that are lasting. So, you know, meditation can mean different things. Right. And I think a lot of people, you know, I don't know if you get this question, but a lot of people are like, well, I don't even know what that means or what to do. Do I just sit? What am I doing? Do I close my eyes, open my eyes? And, there's a lot of different ways you can go about it. And I think for beginners, we may have even talked about this before, but for beginners, using an app is great. And I love Insight Timer. It's free. I know there's several others out there, and you can upgrade on Insight Timer as well. But it's a free app. And if you're not used to just kind of being alone in your own head and your own thoughts with your thoughts, they have so many guided meditations ranging from literally 1 minute, which is what I try to do with my kids, to an hour. So you make that choice, and sometimes it takes you through relaxation. It can take you through prepping for sleep. It has different topics. So that's a really good spot, I think, to start. Carve out some time, breathe. And we can talk about a few different of the breathing techniques that I like. Other than that, first, just following the breath, connecting with the breath. And then once you move into meditation, you are feeling this broader connection. And like you said, having a mantra can also work wonders as well. Just enjoying being. And it could be a meaningful word. It could, my favorite right now that I'm sharing with all of my students, it's we have to attribute it to Thich Nhat Hanh, and it is in coordination with your breath, breathing in, my body calms, breathing out, I smile. And anytime I start to feel a little anxious, that's the other, the beauty of this is I could be in the middle of arguing with my kids, my husband, and I can just start to focus on my breath right in the middle. Like you don't have to, step outside and
get equipment and
yeah, right. Exactly. Like sitting in traffic, although there's probably not too much traffic out there these days, but it's available to you. This mantra, breathing, and even just a little calming meditation, they're available to you wherever you are, no matter what kind of shape your body, is in, no matter what your experience level with the physical postures of yoga. Those two things are always there. And without fail, as soon as I slow my breath down, as soon as I start to quiet the mind, and it doesn't happen automatically, right? Like it takes practice and it takes time, and you have to be okay with that. But I'm able to then approach whatever situation with clarity. And
let's do one. I early on taught a few breathing exercises that I use for clients, but let's do something. Let's do one of yours.
Yeah, for sure. So my favorite, when I kind of get that anxious feeling in my chest and in my heart, and maybe there's a little constriction there. I like this best if you lie down, but you don't have to. It can be done anytime. But this is focusing on the out breath. And I could even just take you through it right now. And anyone who's listening, if they, have a moment to just find a spot to be, if you can lie down, all the better. But you don't have to.
Can I put my feet back in the car? Wait.
Yeah. You're like, no, I'm not having it. But okay, so I invite anyone who wants to participate, and you included, Dr. Jordan, to close your eyes. Again, it doesn't have to happen with eyes closed, but it's nice to get that experience. So if you can, and it's available to you, close your eyes. And just start to bring some attention and awareness to what is going on around you. So maybe you can hear people playing and talking in the background. Maybe you can hear birds singing outside. Maybe you feel a breeze. Is the air warm? Is it cool? So just bringing yourself to this moment in a sensational way. You're sensing the space around you. And once you are here and you have arrived here, start to pay a little bit of attention to your breath. Not changing it at the moment, just paying attention to it. Is it short and choppy? Or is it perhaps long and smooth? Our inhales move right into our exhales, or maybe we're holding our breath a little bit. I tend to hold my breath in times of stress and anxiety. So take note of how it feels as you breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the nose. And I'll give you just a few moments to feel that in breath and out breath. If it's available to you, maybe you even put a hand on the belly, both hands on the belly, or maybe one on the chest around the heart center. And now we're observing this movement. As we breathe, our body moves. Inhaling, we become expansive. And exhaling, everything returns back to its original space. And then with these next few breaths, we'll start to put a count to the breath. And again, that's just for our own knowing, our own knowledge. On your next, you can start with an inhale or an exhale. And just count how long it is. And then match that with the next inhale. So your inhales and exhales are even. You want to picture this like a cycle. Sometimes I picture the inhale traveling up the front of my body, and then the exhale cascades down to the back body. Only to start once again up the front, inhaling and exhaling, cascading down and around. So once we follow that breath for a few more moments, this is where the real good stuff happens. So I'm not taking too long. I'd love for everyone to count the exhale. And then on the inhale, we're only going to inhale for half of that count. Slowly, really with intention here. And then we can start to lengthen our exhales. So my favorite count is I'll exhale nice and slowly with purpose for about an 8 count. And then inhale for a 4 count. And then depending on where I am and how long I have, that can get longer and longer and longer. And studies have shown that as you focus on this exhale, you signal to the nervous system to relax, to calm. It turns off the fight or flight response and turns on all of those good, juicy things that help us settle. I do this a lot of the time during the day these days, but I also tend to do it at night and before bed. If you have a racing mind, this is a perfect thing to do. If you're lying in bed, it's 2 a.m., you either haven't been sleeping or woke up and can't get back to sleep, go to this extended exhale. And hopefully within a few minutes, you'll be able to drift on off.
I love that. Yeah, I find that the minute, even if I don't consider it a meditation, but I'm breathing, that instantly when I recognize what's going on in my body, my shoulders relax. I actually did a meditation a couple nights ago that was just a body check-in, because I had a conversation with a patient, and especially being women, and no offense to the men that are watching, but we have a tendency to just push through and to just keep going.
Right.
And we forget about what's going on. And so this entire meditation was simply like, check in with your upper arm, let it relax. Feel your lower arm, let it relax. Feel your hand, let it. And I was like,
Yes.
Literally, when was the last time, without conscious thought, that you thought about your thigh, or you thought, you had your back relax.
Right.
And so I think that anybody, like you were saying, you have 5 minutes, you can do this.
Yes. It's just being consistent. And that's where the real magic happens. It's having that daily practice. And I wish I had almost started like tracking myself from, the time I really made this a habit to now. I can tell overall, I feel good and I feel like this is working, but it would be pretty awesome to see just how far I've come. When my kids were toddlers, I'll admit it, I had a hard time not yelling to be heard. I yelled, and with the intention of being a more patient mom, especially, I started working, around that kind of that purpose. And now if I tend to, I don't lose it really anymore, but if I do, the kids are like, whoa, what happened to mom? This isn't my mom. I don't understand. So that's pretty cool to experience, like that's that you can make that choice, and you can, be able to at least control when there's nothing that you can control on the outside of yourself. You can control your internal landscape, and you can control your choices that affect you and those that you love around you.
I think that's an awesome just attitude for everybody right now, because we can't. And I think everybody's experiencing a lot of fear. There's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of moving pieces, no matter where people are. In Chicago, we're a little tighter than the rest of the world, but I think that resonates. So being able to control, and that's something I've been saying all along, is the stress that's coming at us is not going to change. There's always going to be something, but we have to modify how we're reacting to it.
Yep.
What have you been providing lately for your clients? I've seen a few classes online.
Yeah.
What, where can people find you, or where can they contact you directly for additional, mantras, or leading them through some of this? What can they do?
Yes, thank you. I do what I do because I love people, and I want them to flourish and feel nourished. So please contact me. I'd love to. I have an email address. It's the traveling yogi with Erin at gmail.com. So you can always reach out to me there. I do have a Facebook page that has not been super active at the moment, but you can always message me on Facebook. I also have a website that gives you a little bit more information. And, maybe we can add all the information on the post here. But I am teaching some classes via Zoom. I prefer Zoom because it is a little more interactive than just say like a Facebook Live. I'm actually able to, even if you end up turning your video off, which is okay, at least, in the beginning, we can get a little bit of face-to-face time, and it's easier for me to, just sort of read what is working for people and what isn't. So I'd be really happy to share that information with the community here about when I'm teaching, and I'm planning on doing more virtual classes, especially, we're still not sure what's going to happen with the studios opening up, class number, size, and whatnot. So I'm kind of planning on making this a regular thing for the foreseeable future. And I would love for that community to grow as well. And we, my husband on Saturday mornings, he is my yoga model. So all the men out there that are looking to, delve into yoga a little bit more, I got Greg out there being my partner. And we have active classes, but then I also have restorative classes. I'm looking to add a class for kids. So I would love to, share all of that with those that are interested. And I think that's about it.
I like that. Well, I'm making the executive decision that we should do a restorative class, because that's my favorite right now for this.
Yeah.
So everybody stay tuned. Erin and I are going to organize a restorative Zoom. So if you're watching and you're interested, comment below on times at work, and we will coordinate and get this all set. I love that. Erin, you're the best. And for those of you that didn't know, Erin actually came to our last women's retreat and taught yoga on the rooftop. It was incredible as the sun was coming up. It was a little chilly. We were in October in Lake Geneva. So it was a little chilly as we started, and then it was absolutely gorgeous. And as we did a little bit of breathing at the end and a little bit of a meditation, the sun, it was like warming us as we were going. It was like picture perfect. I couldn't have arranged it any better. So as always, you're wonderful. I appreciate your time, and
thank you.
Happy early birthday.
Yes, I know. It's coming up, right?
We're birthday twins, for those of you that don't know.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Send us gifts. No, just
We are accepting gifts.
kidding.
So do integrate some of this. I am going to put all of Erin's information, so you can feel free to contact her directly, or of course, stay tuned in the group for our
Yes.
scheduling of this yoga together. And Erin is part of the group, so watch for her commenting and sharing, different mantras or yoga advice or any
Great.
of that. I love it.
Awesome. I would love to, if you're all right with me doing that, I would love to share a little bit more.
Please, that would be perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Jordan. This was
Thank you. Thank you for your patience and all this craziness tonight, but
we got it to work. So it's all good.
yes. So I was doing my breathing while things were not working. So that's why I'm here so calm.
Yes. That's amazing. Okay. All right. Thanks,
Awesome,
everybody.
Fred.
Hope to hear from you.
I love you. Thank
Love
you.
Thanks. Bye.
I'll see you later.